Welcome back to episode 3 of the Diamond Diary. This week we have Ollie Frost as our guest this week. To introduce Ollie a little bit, Ollie is pretty well the man that does everything. Ollie runs a couple music festivals. He has 2 restaurants and a bar, runs a F45. So our question today for Ollie is going to be, how does he deal with idiots in everything that he does? So obviously doing such a broad spectrum of things over hospitality, over I guess gyms and different forms of hospitality, I guess is everything, right? You provide a service. You run into a lot of problems, I guess.
I do, I definitely do. Mate, every day is a problem, I guess. All I really do is problem solve.
Well, so let's break down some problems. So say in hospitality, staff, being a problem with staff, what do you do to deal with, say, disgruntled staff, mischievous staff? Like how do you minimize the amount of idiots that you deal with within your bars and restaurants?
That's a pretty good question. I guess from the start, what we try and do, and I guess what I've trained my management team to do, is basically sort of, if you don't want to work for us, don't be here. So I guess you try and cut out as many as you can early days, sort of being like, you know, have the attitude, and when you sort of do the interviews and take on like group hiring and you know, you're employing, I guess, your 20 new floor staff or your 10 new bar staff, whatever it is, it's sort of, you go through the process and you make sure that, you know, at the end of the day, the message is clear. It's like, we only want people here who want to be here.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be here, don't take the job, you know, no hard feelings, but it's sort of, that weeds a few out, not all of them, but it definitely, you know, gives the right attitude and sort of making sure that they know, I guess, as an owner or a boss, what I want. And then that sort of fed through my management team the whole way down. So that's something definitely we've kept pretty strong. And I guess I've learnt over time, sort of, it's been in business now for quite a few years, so it's, you only learn by your mistakes, I guess. And we've, that's sort of the first defining thing, to weed out as many as we can, is being like, you know, guys, we've got a strong policy on, if you want to be here, and we'll do everything we can to make sure you're enjoying work and enjoying your time at work. But if you don't want to be here, don't be here. And you know, we're not forcing you to be here. We're not going to. That's
an interesting point too, because it does give people an out. There's a lot of employees a lot of the time stay in a job out of not maybe fear, but they don't want to leave because they don't want to upset you, right? They're like, oh, I'll just keep going, and then they just have such poor performance, right? So if you, from the get-go, if you don't want to be here, if you're not passionate about it, just go. It's fine. There's no problem. If you there's no problem if you
get
want
out
to
of
go.
here.
Yeah.
And you know, and like, I guess between the festivals and the gyms and the restaurants, it's pretty fun to work in. You know, and I love what I do, and I get to do something that I've built up and I enjoy really well. So like, I don't want a bad egg in the room.
Yeah, because that leads then into what I also wanted to explore is, I guess, like culture as a whole in those different industries, right? It would create an environment of less idiots if you have a good culture, right? If everybody's enjoying working together and things like that. So
definitely, like, I guess one key element is my general manager Andy, who's an absolute weapon. I guess it's sort of 2 years ago when he came on, or everything sort of changed in the way, like, our culture from all the restaurants, and that was when we really started to clean our staff up and step it up a bit. He creates a really good work culture through he looks after everything essentially. So through all the work environments, and he's very good at creating that culture, so people do enjoy working with him, and he's nailed that. So our culture, like, if you're at Maman or Milky Lane or on site at the festival, everyone is enjoying themselves. And like, I guess with the festival, we've had the same crew management team for the last 5 years, like since we started it ourselves.
That's the grass is greener.
Yeah, the grass is greener. So it's, you know, unfortunately we didn't get to go last year, but we just had Sounds About Right, I guess, which you come to. We had you know, we've got the same bar guys. You've got Jeremy, Joshy, you know, you're Dan on production. Like, you've got a very awesome crews that work together for a very long time. We all enjoy it. So it's we all know each other pretty well, so the culture's there, and you know, and Milky Lane's got a great culture. The staff out there all go for drinks on a Tuesday night together, and Andy has a lot of fun with them. And then I guess Lois down here running Maman, and Andy oversees that, and the staff culture there is really good, and they enjoy it, and the kitchen boys are fun, and everyone gets along. So it's very important having a good staff culture throughout all your businesses, and even the F45. When I get to go down there to Lismore, probably don't get down there as much as I should, but you know, I get down there maybe once a month, once every 2 months, and Tenzin, who I'm a partner with, runs that, and the fitness trainers down there are all happy, they're all enjoying it, they all love coming in, they all stay on and vacuum and help out and help pick the equipment up, and you know, then it's not, we don't charge, or they don't charge us for it, so it's key in running. I mean, especially when you've got multiple staff across many different areas, that culture thing's awesome, and it's good to go in there and see your staff and have a say hello, have a chat, enjoy some time with them, instead of sort of being a cunt like some bosses are, and in and out and rude prick, and then you don't get the best out of your staff.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Fucking, speaking of, I need to get down to that F45 a bit more. Christmas has been ridiculous. Well, so there's obviously a balancing act, right, between having a great culture and then like with you said with Dan with the festivals. Dan's by the book, he's a stickler, right? I guess you have to have the guys that are, let's do this, let's do that for the good culture, but if you don't have guys like Dan, then nothing really ends up getting done, right?
Oh, 100%. Guys like Dan are basically, their job's to rein me in. Andy is such as well, you know, their job's to rein me in. Like, I'm like, let's do this, let's go do that. And they're like, no, well, here's the realistic side of it, like A, B, C, D, E. And I'm like, oh, fuck, all right, we can't do that then.
When I went
so at the end of the day, their job's to control me, sort of thing. And then that's how we get shit done. Otherwise, if I could do whatever I wanted, you'd fucking, I don't know, mate. Yeah, it'd be crazy.
When I came the other morning to Sounds About Right, Dan immediately was like, "Who are you? Where have you from?" He's like, "Have you got any idea about it?" I was like, "Oh, okay," which is awesome, right? Because it's in a business you need. Like last week we were speaking to Brody Green from Sea Dog about systems and things like that, but then also having the passion to drive the business and be exciting, but then also the systems of like this is what you do, etc., and having like non-negotiables, you know, kind of thing, like.
Exactly, you know. Mate, those systems are key, like, and that's what Andy, and I guess Dan's very good at, and I'm not. Like, you know, I know what I do well, and I can get things off the ground, get it happening, and I can do it really quickly. But then these guys come in and put systems and structures in place that make the business flow and continue and make sure that they stay successful, essentially, because there's only so much I can do. And you know, I get bored after a while. I guess that's why I've got a couple of things. Like once I get something up and running, I sort of handball it to the management team and focus on something else. As you've seen, there's another one.
Coming soon. Well, so then, that really, you don't have any golden nuggets or anything that you've learned over time that you've been able to pull out with difficult staff. If you've got a staff member that's like, no, fuck you, I don't like you.
Oh, mate, I should just pull it back to basics and you know, sit them down and go, you know, what have you done here? Do you understand what you've done wrong? And basically making them think about it or making them understand where they've gone wrong, where they've fucked up is the key part. Because then once that clicks in their head, all of a sudden they're like, oh, fuck, I fucked up, or oh, I've done this wrong, or oh, I need to do this better. And once the employee understands that, your life becomes a lot easier, I guess.
Yeah, okay. And do you do that? Do you do that consistently? Do you say like, oh, look, this is what you've done wrong. I want you to do this right, or do you consistently say, great job on that, and then just only say what they've done wrong when it's actually something that you want to fucking like? That's quite important to raise.
A little bit of both, probably.
Yeah.
I definitely try and set an example myself. Like sometimes I'm in there, you know, doing everything, and some days I'm in and out of there. But like, if I see something wrong, I'll definitely pull them up on it. But I'm not a cunt about it. You know, it's like, hey, you're doing that wrong. But if it's something that's fucking major, that's you know they've absolutely fucked up, and you know, that's a serious sit down. Like, let's go. Like you fucked up. So you rarely see me blow up though. I guess that's one thing. I'm pretty chilled in how I do it all. It's sort of just cruise control.
There's no really point of losing your cool, right? It just takes away the respect and stuff that you've built.
Oh, definitely.
Right? If you're just screaming, everyone's like, well,
no one wants to listen to you. No, if you scream, then they scream back at you, or it's an argument. There's no point. So I guess the big one's probably the big goal. No, just keeping you chill, keeping you cool, just cruising and being like, hey, you've done this wrong. Let's sort that out, or you know, do this like this next time.
Yeah. Try not to be like a lot of our parents.
Yeah, mate, like my dad used to yell at me all the time when I fucked up. I think I learned that from him, probably not to do it. Because when he yelled at me, I'm like, fuck you, I don't do that.
Listen, yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they're like for example in law, it's very, very skewed to, thank you so much for drafting this. These are the 10 things that you did wrong and I want you to do right next time. It's very kind of like that negative reinforcement style of learning.
Yeah.
Where I don't think it's as sustainable as the positive, you know, like.
Do you think that's a little bit old school and sort of like phasing into a new
I think
way?
so. I think with law, it's because the risk is so high. If you fuck something up,
Oh, definitely, you fucked.
You know, then it's like, motherfucker, that's my head, you know, that kind of thing. So I think it's just a process of, I think it's better to lead from the front. If staff gives you something back that they've drafted, showing them what you changed, thanking them for it, and just showing them like, this is how I would have done it, and then do that rather than being like, change this, change that, change that. Obviously, it's a bit different if it's like, you know, put him on the spot, he'll know who he is. But if you've drafted something that says to a Stephen, and you go, your first line is hi Stefan, you know, you can't really say, oh, I spell names right, and he'll know exactly if he listens to this who I'm talking about. But,
That's an actual incident, is it?
So it's about, and I guess through experience, right? You really only, like, I'm sure like back when you first started Milky Lane or whatever, you would have been one way skewed, like, you know, more.
Well, definitely, mate. As time goes on, and you know, I guess the biggest thing I learnt from the festival starting at 60 years ago is like I've got Johnny and I, my business partner, we've got a whole site to run, and you know, some festivals that's up to 200 staff on one day. We're bumping in, we've got crews everywhere. It's basically just being able to communicate with, like, while you're on a festival site, you've got 200 people there, and if you're the big scary, like running around just throwing orders at people, no one's going to come speak to you when there's a problem.
Yeah.
And everyone's fucked up, like, I don't want to speak to him, he owns it, but I still don't want to deal with him. Yeah. Whereas if you've got an approachable, chilled, okay, I can have a chat with this guy, we fucked this up, how can we fix this, or what does he want to do? I guess that's the sort of key that's helped us develop over time, and sort of being able to just not blow up a situation, like I was sort of saying before, just looking at it and being quite chilled and working through it with your employee instead of like having a go at them and then you end up working against them on it.
Yeah. Let's fix this problem together rather than I'll fix a problem that you've given me, kind of thing, right? And you're in trouble for telling me about the problem.
Exactly, yeah. I'd prefer to know about it and fix it than get to the festival opening and then I find out about a fucking problem because he didn't want to tell me because he was scared of me, and then we're fucked.
Yeah,
once those gates open, it's game time. You can't do much, man. Like it's rocking, the punters are coming in and it's open, and you know, and like it's music's on, it's go time. Like you hit that, once you hit gates, it's on. Yeah. So I prefer to know about it the day before or when it happens, work through them with it, show them what to do, and they can understand, and then hopefully next time they don't do that.
Yeah, you want somebody to tell you that they've forgotten to order the portal.
Exactly.
You roll up on the day, like, where is he? Oh, I was scared of you.
100%. 100%.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, mate, for today. That's
no worries, mate. Thank you very much for having me. All the best with the podcast. Hopefully it goes really well for you.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to another episode of The Diamond Diary. Thank you so much to our sponsor, Sea Dog Coffee in Burleigh. Great coffee, great ethical and sustainable coffee with a great vibe.